Effective feedback. Effective instructor feedback is a core component of the Hacking 4 pedagogy. It empowers student teams to quickly recover when they've gone off track and builds confidence so they can pivot, innovate, and create unique solutions. A primary role of the Hacking 4 teaching team is to guide students through the class by providing effective feedback during the student team's weekly presentations. This requires that teaching teams 1. Establish a continuous feedback loop with students. 2. Provide feedback that is both honest and timely. And 3. Hold students accountable for the beneficiary discovery process. In some ways, the Hacking 4 class should simulate the intensity of a startup, with instructors playing the role of a board that students need to brief and encouraging students to question their assumptions and test their own hypotheses. Establishing a continuous feedback loop requires open conversation between the teaching and student teams in front of the class, and teaching teams should rigorously challenge students' understanding of both their problem and the mission model canvas. Teaching teams should push students to clarify presentations and explore how they decided on and tested their hypotheses. The feedback loop is not a one-sided weekly verbal assessment, but an interactive discovery of the student team's thinking. Its application allows all students in the class to learn from each other's mistakes and successes. Hacking 4 students need to know if they're incorrectly applying a key concept or pursuing a wrong solution pathway. They can't succeed without honest feedback. Feedback should encourage students to reflect on what went wrong as well as what went right. It should be timely and immediately useful, and should avoid prescribing future possibilities. Teaching teams should challenge students directly to ensure they're conducting the right type of discovery and moving in the right direction. And while teaching team feedback should be what Steve Blank calls relentlessly direct, it should not be aggressive or harsh and should always be constructive and beneficial. Ultimately, feedback should motivate students and push them to achieve. It should teach students to critically and honestly self-assess their work before they come into the classroom. The beneficiary discovery process is central to the Hacking 4 methodology. The power of the Lean Launchpad framework comes from students precisely and rigorously testing hypotheses by conducting a significant number of interviews with the right people, and when and if applicable, by developing the right type of minimum viable product for testing. Student teams should aim for 8 to 10 quality interviews per week, but remain cognizant that numbers alone won't drive a successful solution. Students should know what information they are looking for during the course of these conversations, which can also be thought of as experiments or hypothesis tests, as opposed to conducting interviews in a general sense. It's essential that instructors hold students accountable to this process by asking precise questions to establish why certain hypotheses are being tested and how. If students aren't rigorously conducting beneficiary discovery, they won't have enough data to validate, invalidate, or confirm their hypothesis. Providing effective feedback is one of the most important aspects of a Hacking 4 course and is vital to student team success. Continuous feedback builds trust between the teaching and student teams through encouraging yet honest dialogue, so that students are empowered to experiment, research, fail, and succeed.